Welcome to CQRS Basics. In this module, you will learn about accessing and navigating within CQRS. You'll also learn about the major CQRS components. In the previous modules, we learned what CQRS is, who will be using it, and why. Now we're going to look at the actual system itself. This graphic illustrates how advanced user administrators will set up other administrators and users within the CQRS organization structure. The advanced user administrators will be able to create users in their own organization and other descendant organizations. For example, a CCG advanced user administrator will be able to create users in their descendant GP practices. By creating a user at the GP practice with a user administrator role, that user at the GP practice can now create as many users with the appropriate roles as it needs. Registering and signing in to CQRS is simple. If you forget or need help when you're ready to register and sign in, you can access and download the Completing Your User Registration and Signing In to CQRS job aid located on the CQRS Learning Center. To begin the process, you'll need to provide the CQRS user administrator in your organization with your details, including your name, email, and telephone number. You'll also need to provide your organization and your function within that organization. The CQRS user administrator will add your details to CQRS and work with you to determine your role. After completion, you will automatically receive an email that includes a link to the CQRS user registration page. Clicking the link in the email will take you directly to the CQRS user registration screen. You will create a password. When creating a password, follow the rules displayed on the screen. Note that these rules can be found in the Completing Your User Registration and Signing In to CQRS job aid. After you select the Submit button, a message informs you that you will receive an email with your CQRS user ID and a link to the CQRS sign-in screen. Upon receiving the email, you'll be able to sign in to CQRS. To sign in to CQRS, you will enter your unique CQRS user ID that you received in the email and the password that you created in the boxes provided on the CQRS home page, and then select the Sign In button. CQRS has a variety of ways to navigate through the screens and quickly understand where you are within the system. This lesson provides you an introduction to CQRS navigation. Let's begin with the CQRS home screen. The My Tasks and Messages link allows you to access a quick view of the tasks and messages that you have in CQRS. You can also access new tasks and messages directly from the home screen. We will review tasks and messages in more detail later in this module. The top navigation items also allow you to see when you last accessed the system and allows you to sign out of CQRS. If you're associated with more than one organization, the drop-down by your name allows you to easily switch between the two organizations. When you select a different organization, CQRS automatically switches to the applicable home screen for that organization. Your role may also change, so CQRS will also update to reflect the role you have in that organization. Now let's look at the tabs on the home screen. Remember that the activities that you can perform within CQRS are based on your role. Tabs are where you can find these activities. For the purposes of this training, we will show the full range of tabs and activities. However, when you sign in to CQRS, you will only have access to the tabs that are available based on your assigned role. Tabs allow you to navigate directly to the corresponding screen so that you can view or complete tasks. We will review each tab later in this training. The links at the bottom of the screen allow you to navigate to the same screens as the tabs. The tabs at top and the links at the bottom are the same with the exception of Home. The bottom links allow you to quickly see what is available under each tab. A great CQRS feature is that it manages the flow of activities and provides prompts, reminders, and confirmations to all users. In this lesson, you'll learn more about the messages and tasks you will receive via CQRS. We've covered roles in an earlier module. However, before we start talking about system tasks and messages, it's very important to understand that your roles in CQRS will be limited to the roles your organization type allows. Your role or roles determines which specific set of activities you can perform within CQRS, and therefore which tabs and screens are available to you. Remember that this table shows roles that an organization can have. The user within an organization can have one or more of these roles. Recall that if you're associated with more than one organization, the drop-down by your name allows you to easily switch between the two organizations. When you select a different organization, CQRS automatically switches to the applicable home screen for that organization. Your role may also change, so CQRS will also update to reflect the role you have in that organization. Your tasks and messages are based on your role within your organization, as are the activities you can complete. Now that we've determined that what you see in CQRS is based on your role, let's talk about task management. The workflow within CQRS supports all business processes. Prompts, reminders, and confirmations are sent to you through the CQRS user interface and email. Task management gives you a single location where you can see any outstanding workflow tasks you need to perform, and notifications of any events in CQRS that affect you. Now let's look at a specific example, the home screen of a service provider. Note that commissioning organizations will receive messages and tasks in the same manner as service providers. If the service provider signs in under his or her role within GP practice, this is what he sees. A summary of tasks and messages on the home page. Remember, for this training, you are seeing the full range of what is available in CQRS. In actuality, you might only have access to some of these tabs. Tasks and messages are slightly different. A task is outstanding work to be performed by the user, and for service providers is indicated by a corresponding yellow highlighted tab. A task has both a create date and a deadline date. A message is information sent to the user concerning the system. Unlike a task, a message does not have a deadline date and does not necessarily require the user to complete an action. For example, a user may receive a message stating that a new quality service will be available soon. The user can go straight to the task or message by clicking on the link. Another way to look at tasks and messages is to click the link at the top of the screen. The user also has the ability to do more advanced searches by clicking on the advanced search link. Advanced searching allows you to filter based on a variety of options, such as searching based on tasks or messages, subject, deadline date, progress target date, estimated process finish date, or create date. For information on how to use the various search options, consult the CQRS user guide. This screen has the option of viewing only the open items, or items that have not yet been actioned, by clicking on the Open Items tab. To see closed items or items that have been actioned, click on the Closed Item tab. If the service provider wants to view a specific task or message listed here, he or she can click on the task or message to drill down into more detail. Let's see how this works by taking a deeper look at the first task in his Open Items list. After clicking on the link, this screen displays. Details about this task let the service provider know that this item is still open. The subject tells that the service provider has been offered a quality service. Specific dates are indicated for the deadline, target, finish, and creation. The task detail line lets the service provider know what actions are available with this offer. To view the item at this time, the service provider could click on the link shown here and go directly to it. A best practice is to check your open items every time you access CQRS. By doing this, you'll not fall behind in tasks that require completion or miss important due dates. A message has the same basic information as a task. But because messages are for information purposes, there are no links or actions available from the message screen. The service provider can set up how he wishes to be notified of tasks and messages by going to My Tasks and Messages and clicking on Update Notifications. Each type of task and message has the option of allowing the service provider to be notified by email, in addition to receiving notifications within the CQRS message center. Selecting Email Notification will result in a daily email report containing all selected tasks and messages created within the past 24 hours. It's time to move on to system components within CQRS. Let's look at the tabs that a service provider might access in CQRS. The tabs that are available to you are based on your role, so you will more than likely not have access to all the tabs and sub-tabs covered here. In cases where an organization is both a service provider and a commissioning organization, all relevant tabs will be available. Remember, this is a brief overview. You will learn how to complete the activities under each tab in subsequent modules. The Participation Management tab is where service providers can view, accept, and reject quality services. The Data Submission tab is where service providers can manually record achievement and aspiration data into CQRS. The Achievement tab is where achievement and payment declarations are submitted. Service providers can review achievement summaries, declare and submit achievement results, and complete the post-achievement modeling process for achievement data. The Reports tab provides access to standardized, easy-to-use, non-patient identifiable reports across all quality services supported by CQRS. All reports are based on the user role, and not all reports will be visible to all users. We'll go into more detail about various reports and how to run them in later modules. Now let's look at the tabs that a commissioning organization might access in CQRS. The tabs that are available to you are based on your role, so you'll more than likely not have access to all the tabs covered here. The Participation Management tab is where commissioning organizations can offer quality services to their service providers. They can also view the status of their offers to see if they've been accepted or rejected. The Data Submission tab is where commissioning organizations can manually record service provider achievement and aspiration data into CQRS. The Achievement tab is where commissioning organizations can review and approve the achievements for service providers participating in quality services. The Reports tab provides access to standardized, easy-to-use, non-patient identifiable reports across all quality services supported by CQRS. All reports are based on the user role, and not all reports will be visible to all users. Users with the role Advanced User Administrator and/or User Administrator can manage user details. CQRS has a help option built in. There are also other help options available. The last tab at the top of the screen is the Help tab. This screen allows you to launch online help on any of the topics listed here. If you select a category like Participation Management, for example, a list of all help processes relevant to the functions within that category appear. You can then select the link for the function to view the detailed steps. You can also download a CQRS user guide in PDF to your computer. Finally, clicking a question mark icon will navigate you to the specific section in the Help Documentation Index. The CQRS Learning Center provides a centralized location for CQRS-related training. From the Learning Center, you can view the CQRS online training curriculum and access resources like job aids, simulation tutorials, and CQRS FAQs. Let's take a few minutes to summarize what we covered in this module. You'll be able to access a central UK-based help desk staffed by knowledgeable people who can swiftly resolve issues and provide informed help and guidance with queries on the system. Help desk support hours will be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. Note that some links for additional information are displayed. You can also find additional training resources in the CQRS Learning Center. The Online Courses tab contains more in-depth training modules for both commissioning organizations and service providers. The Job Aids and Tutorials tab contains simulation tutorials that demonstrate the specific steps required to complete common and/or critical CQRS tasks and job aids, providing key learning points and steps for common and/or critical CQRS tasks. And finally, you can view, print, or download the CQRS User Guide directly from the CQRS system itself.